So this is college algebra, section 11.4, page 802, another example problem number 46. They want us to find the equation and graph it. They give us the vertices at 1, -3 and 1, 1. And the equation of one of the asymptotes says y plus 1 equals 3/2 times the quantity x minus 1. So I'm going to graph it first because that seems to be the easiest way to do most of these so you can see what's going on. So if I have at 1, -3, that is a vertex, and at 1, +1, that is another vertex, then this must be an open and up and down graph. And that means it uses the form y minus k squared over b squared minus x minus h squared over a squared equals 1. So once again, we need h, k, a, and b. Well, if these are the vertices where this thing opens up and down, then right in the middle is the center, which is the hk. So hk should equal 1, -1. That also, if you took a look at our equation for the asymptote, you can see the 1, -1 stuff in there too. Now we need a and b. Okay, let's see here. So, if we know that the slope of that asymptote is equal to 3/2, and we know that if we draw in our a and our b, and this hypotenuse is the c, then we know a squared plus b squared equals c squared, in this case at least for hyperbola. Now, the slope being 3/2 doesn't mean that b has to be 3 and a has to be 2. In fact, we know that b is 2, right? We don't know what a is. We really don't need c. I guess I'm just giving you that information. So, how do we figure that part out? Well, the rise over the run, the rise is b, the run is a, and that's supposed to be 3/2. We know that b is 2 over a equals 3/2. Now we solve for a. Let's cross multiply. So we get 4 is equal to 3a, or a is equal to 4/3. So if a is 4/3 and b is 2, then that should make sense. So it's 2 over 4/3, so you invert and multiply. Let's check that. 2 over 4/3 is 2 times, or 2 over 1 times, 3/4. 2 goes into once, it goes twice, you get 3/2. Okay, good. Our slope is correct. So we know a and b, h and k, that's all we need for this equation. And our graph, just a second. If we know we go right and left with 4/3, that's 1 1/3. So it's someplace here. And up and down with 2, that's here and here. Remember, you dash in your rectangle, put the diagonals in for the asymptotes. That's the equation of one of those with the positive slope. Then you, from this rectangle, you approach the asymptotes. And our equation, y minus k is 1. I'm sorry, -1. So it's y plus 1 squared over b squared, which is 4. And then x minus 1 squared over a squared. So what is 4/3 squared? That's 16/9. That equals 1. So, a little bit crowded, but that's number 46.